Now, we know you're looking forward to Friday, but Thursday is still not too bad. It's a day that things chill a little bit, and it makes today very special.
It is a special day. And in most languages, well, some spoken in India, the word for Thursday is Guruvara. Vara meaning day and Guru meaning the Vraspati. Now, it's a good time to learn something new these days, and we're trying to do all that.
Yeah, I don't know what you're on about at 6 a.m.
What?
But it's a new edition of Wake Up Nigeria, and I am Yomi Obre.
And I'm Titilaya Oyinson. Don't forget we're live streaming tvcentertainment.tv and Facebook Live at TVC Connect.
Now send in your comments across our social media platforms. Use the hashtag Wake Up Nigeria on TVC on Facebook, Instagram, and on Twitter.
So that mobile app we talk about every single day, you need to download it if you haven't already. Android, iOS, go to those stores and download the app to your mobile devices from anywhere and watch us from anywhere in the world. Yeah.
All right, so check it out. We're going to be starting the show off.
Bring you our first musical performance from DT. His style of music is fueled by Afropop, hip-hop, and raga.
And then on art display, we have Michelle Okpari, a trilingual, fluent in French, English, and Spanish. Now, she is an expressionist exploring loads of vibrant colors. Look at that.
Yes, indeed.
She's really, really good. And we're going to be meeting her today and talk to her.
I love Thursdays because of art. I love it. We have an author coming in. Now, the book is titled Unleash the Legend. Lord Heartlake is going to be in the studio to share a lot more about this book.
And for another musical performance, we're going to be joined by Segun Johnson and his band.
Yes, Sue.
Come on now, show you them.
And finally, we'll be joined by Helen Ekwega. Now, she's also known as the Venus Bushfires. She's a singer, songwriter, composer, and she has a special performance art that explores ethereal sounds.
Gladly free these bones. I create a shadow like an eagle.
All right. Now, the Venus Bushfires that you just saw there, she has this special kind of, like a drum.
Bushfire.
Yeah, well, it's not a bushfire.
Oh, okay.
But it's a special drum. It's similar to one of those West Indian bin drums, but it's sort of in the opposite direction. It's really, really odd. I think you should see it before. I can't explain it more, but she plays it with such grace.
Is she playing it today?
Yeah, she's playing it today.
Does the drum break? So why is it named after the fire? The drum was named after the fire.
So I'm not sure if it's the drum that's named after, or that's just
a stage name.
Yeah, the stage name. But it's just such an interesting performance.
It could be the type of music she does.
Okay, yeah, probably. Maybe it'll get you
so of course we'll find out. That's the good part of she coming on the show.
I used to have this, someone I know. You probably know him. He, then in Uniport Ice, used to do, he was in creative arts. Okay. So his department would be just before science department. Science department is called off free mass, so quite up. So when you're going there, you pass by the art department. I don't know if he's still there. And then Jude used to paint. So there was a time he themes his paintings. So there's a time when he does a lot of dancing in the water. So he will use a lot of it. So dance in the water, then you see somebody maybe inside the water, and then there's fire inside the water. The person is, and so everybody, so you're going into the science lab, and then we just stop and just people just slow down once they just get to the art department.
Just be looking.
And just people trudging. I know nobody's pushing anybody.
They're just looking.
We must see those paintings, and you know, it used to be very beautiful.
Class, your lecturer is like, get out of my class.
In Unilag, there used to be this really, really old sculptor. He was a lecturer, but he was also like probably from the 60s and 70s. They call him Abayomi Baba. Okay. Right? It's a popular guy. I mean, even there are books on him in the US and other countries.
Oh, wow.
Really old. And so you remember all those statues of like Herbert Macaulay, all those old day statues, not this statue of MKO that you see and all these funny ones of Gani Fahimi nowadays that are not really good. I'm talking about like the old statues, those real ones that are made with bronze and all of that. That's the guy.
Wow.
So when you go to his studio, so he has all these busts, like the bust of Wole Soyinka, the bust of Winston Churchill, the bust of Zeke, and
So you just
you just be there like for hours.
I just happened to pass through Yabatek, and I was saddened because even the roads inside that place so it was supposed to be like a bypass, so it was like a thoroughfare because we were trying to avoid traffic. And I was thinking, I know the road through Yabatek. If you see Yabatek, you just go around the field. Yeah. It took about 20 minutes to get from one side to the other. And it's because the roads are bad.
How long will it
There was no electricity.
It's like 3 minutes.
Like 3 minutes.
It's a very small...
It's supposed to be 3 minutes.
The roads are very...
Really bad. There was no electricity in there. I could just see, it was really disheartening. It felt like it had deteriorated down to a point that you wouldn't want to send,
anyone there.
Anyone to
it's
Yabatek.
funny that we were talking about art this morning because just days ago, Sir Victor Owaifo granted an interview talking about not just his career, but also talking about having the government and interested private corporate entities come take over his museum. Because he has a museum where all his works and some other artifacts from
Why
Edo
does he want government
are there. Because he's been funding it with his own personal cash, and he feels, it might go to rot if external fund
Probably
doesn't
they
come
take over,
in.
they'll have to pay him some sort of...
Exactly. So to be, based on history and all of that, the historical relevance of what he's done. I think, somebody should take it up. But incidentally, it's not even government he should be talking to. He should be talking to international funding bodies like UNESCO, UNESCO, UNDP,
exactly.
and all of
UNESCO
that.
will be one very wonderful...
Sometimes one has to start with crawling, and then you eventually...
I used to remember, there's no time, but I hope something can be done about Yabatek, really. I used to see art there all the time, happening on the spot, All
right, and we're going to be taking the news now, starting with... the Supreme Court. Now, the Supreme Court has dismissed the petition filed by the People's Democratic Party and its presidential candidate over this year's presidential election. Correspondent Celestina Iria reports.
A 7-member panel of the Justices of the Supreme Court, led by the Chief Justice of Nigeria, Justice Tanko Muhammad, has dismissed the petition filed by the PDP and its presidential candidates. The Chief Justice of Nigeria said the reasons for the decision of the court will be communicated to parties at a later date. He disclosed that members of the panel had read all the documents and exhibits filed in the case for 2 weeks and found their appeal to be lacking in merit.
The matter has been finally settled by the Supreme Court. We want to appreciate and commend the Supreme Court for rising up to the occasion.
The Supreme Court has adopted a strategy that sought to deal with these issues expeditiously, such that Nigerians are not detained in fear, in doubt, and all manners of investors are not sure about what is to come and so on. I think the issue of the election is now behind us, and I believe the government, the people of Nigeria will work in unison to take the Nigeria project to the next level.
The chapter, paragraphs and lines having to do with 2019 election, especially the presidential aspect, has been laid to rest until 2023.
Our reason for coming to court is because we believe that the election and the result was not result of lawful vote cast. This election and the judgment is not about President Buhari or His Excellency Alhaji Atiku Abubakar. It is about the future of our country.
I don't want to speculate until they give their reasons. No reason has been given, and we've done our best.
We have done
the best we could under the strangulating regime of electoral jurisprudence, which not only places undue burden on the petitioner, but also timelines the period within which such burden must be discharged.
Our reaction is very simple, that this is a huge shock. Shock in the sense that we didn't believe that the desperation to affirm the election of President Muhammad Buhari can get to this level. And if I borrow the words President Muhammad Buhari used in 2007, this is ridiculous, this is a joke, this is shocking and devastating to the quest of Nigerian people.
The judgment, which was unanimously delivered, came less than an hour after the court took arguments on the appeal. Celestina Iria, TVC News, Abuja.
Now, in his reaction to that judgment, Atiku Abubakar says the judiciary has been sabotaged, accusing an alleged cabal of disrupting Nigeria's democratic process. He says the overreaching and dictatorial cabal has undone the gains of the People's Democratic Party and its administrations nurtured for 16 years. He thanks Nigerians who have stayed the course since the commencement of trial and believes the judgment is part of democratic challenges that must be faced as a nation. The former vice president also promised to keep fighting for Nigeria, democracy and justice, and disappoint those who think they have broken his spirit. Meanwhile, the presidency says it is now time for the opposition and the government to move on without the need for further distractions. Senior media aide to the president, Garba Shehu, said in a statement that President Muhammadu Buhari has welcomed the Apex Court's ruling and again thanked Nigerians for giving him the mandate to run the country for another 4 years. He says this is now the time the country needs to move on in the interest of all Nigerians, regardless of how they voted, and the opposition needs to focus on their vital role of holding the government to account. Now, from today, any public sector worker who fails to register for the integrated payroll and personnel system will not get a salary. This is what has pitched the federal government against the Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASU. President Buhari earlier this month ordered that all workers register for the IPPIS to save costs and block leakages in the payment structure. But ASU says the IPPIS is against the laws guiding the autonomy of universities. It says the IPPIS does not make provisions for payment of arrears of promotion, study leave allowance, among others. Now, away from election matters, but still in the courts, Justice Simon Amobeda of the Federal High Court in Calabar has again refused to grant bail to journalist Agba Jalingo. The accused lead counsel, Adeyinka Olumide Fushika, had opposed the prosecution's application for adjournment and asked the court to grant Mr. Jalingo bail. But Justice Amobeda granted the request of the prosecution and dismissed the prayer for bail. The judge says the circumstances cited by the defense do not warrant bail. He also says the defense partly contributed to the adjournment in the trial and that the number of adjournments requested for has not been exceeded by law. The trial now continues on November 5th and 6th. Agba Jalingo is facing charges bordering on terrorism, treasonable felony, and attempting to topple the Cross River State government. Well, that's it on the news update for this hour. The weather update is next.
It's about time we take the headlines in the dailies, and we have the Punch starting us off, as usual. We have Atiku loses, APC mocks PDP, opposition attacks judiciary. Supreme Court in 3 sentences throws out Atiku's appeal. Stop destructive agenda, APC tells PDP. Judiciary sabotaged by dictatorial cabal, says the ex-VP. It also says on minimum wage up here, it says national state councils meet on negotiations Tuesday. Court adjourns Ambode's probe suit against Assembly. Governors raising private security outfits, Gani Adams alleges. Court refuses transferring Maina's case to another judge. Then in our photo story here, very troubling story here. It says this is pupils at and the building of the TD Primary School. Now this is in Kasa in Shogom local government, Gombe State, during lessons. And as you can see, they're sitting outside, and because the building is collapsed, and you know that is just it's just appalling. Something has to be done. We also have these other headlines. It says EFCC invades Ogun varsities, Poly abducts students. It says motorcyclist, passenger, pupil crushed to death in Lagos, Ogun. Gunmen kidnap another Edo judge, kill an orderly. And that's what we have on the cover of the Punch.
Let's take a look at the Vanguard. Still on the presidential poll. Tussle ends as Supreme Court dismisses Atiku's petition. And verdict part of our democratic challenges, Atiku says, and vows to keep fighting for Nigeria. Now, a couple of other riders there that you will find on the cover of the Vanguard. And up here, a few stories. Federal government to NMA, take your quarrels over poor healthcare system to governors. And foreign trips, Oshomole tackles critics, says Obasanjo traveled more than Buhari. Wow. And the story on page 10, Ambode's probe, court orders Lagos Assembly Speaker to maintain status quo. And Nigeria, U.S. trade declines 37.2% to $5.21 billion. And at the bottom here, a couple of other stories. Ari Adams blasts Southwest governors for recruiting stooges as security guards. And the cyber crimes, U.S. warns Nigeria against free Wi-Fi at hotels, restaurants, airports. Okay. And journalist Agua Jalingo pleads not guilty as court adjourns trial to November 5. And that's what we have on the cover of the Vanguard.
Free Wi-Fi is a threat now, yeah?
Yeah, just be careful. You know,
yeah.
Yeah.
It just depends on how you log on. You just have to be as safe as possible. We have the Guardian newspaper here, and the major headline is Atiku to judiciary after final defeat. You are sabotaged by dictatorial cabal. Ex-VP warns Nigeria against self-destruction. Buhari APC hail ruling. PDP, CUPP, others kick. Now, government insists on regulation of social media, says airline not suitable for national carrier. FEC okays 5.72 billion naira for NDIC offices in Bauchi. Right at the top here, it says over 150 feared killed by yellow fever in Katsina. Gunmen kidnap appeal court judge, kill police orderly in Edo. Ijaw youth call for Akpabio's sacking over NDDC. And finally, Lagos ex-governor Mobolaji Johnson dies. That's what we have on the cover of The Guardian.
All right, we're going to take a quick break now and be back with Lagos traffic.
Preemptive, that's the word when you preempt traffic just before you go out. So always ensure that at least you know what's happening in Lagos, if there's any major road blockage or whatever they're working on roads before you go out. Now, earlier on, at our first chat, we were talking about the state of roads around Lautech and all of that. But then, let's believe in our governor. A state of emergency has been declared on our roads, and let's hope for the best. It's Lagos Traffic. Welcome. You can send in reports to us at TVC Connect on Twitter with the hashtag WakeUpNigeria on TVC. All right, so let's see how far we can go. First of all, I know that there are some major roads that we have traffic where they're being worked on, and so traffic there is going to definitely be a problem. So guys, I don't know, can we call out any major roads that we are sure that we know that they are being worked on so that people maybe probably can avoid that place? Someone told me that they passed through Sanwo. I think that was 2 days ago. I don't know how true this is, but he was telling me he passed there, and he said not Agbulegba to, going to Ogun State via Agbulegba, and he said he spent over 7 hours.
Wow.
I don't know how, due to the condition of the road, Agbulegba area and all of that, I don't know if any of you has ever gone. So I was calling him, I wanted him to do something, and he was like, he was on the road for God knows how long. I was like, when did you go to, man? Did you leave the country? Did you enter Cotonou or something? Guy was like, no, just Ogun State here. So that's exactly what I'm talking about. So I don't know if you know of any places where you have major roads.
Just the major roads. I know that there's a lot of work going on Ikorodu Road, especially that Ojota axis. So that's really, really causing a...
But it's like it's stalled for a while. I've passed through there 2 times in the past few days, and
so
I didn't see anything happening.
Generally avoid that area.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, if you were there the previous day and you spent 4 hours, I'm sure you would.
You wouldn't go there.
I'm sure you'd
avoiding that area.
So, yeah, but it's going on. I know that it's going on day and night because there are like craters on the road. And also the mile 12 axis, there's been construction for a while there. Hopefully that should also be done before Christmas. I think they're targeting December to finish up all these major roads, hopefully.
I know the governor, one of the governor's aim was to ensure that traffic is lighter in Lagos.
Yeah.
By Christmas?
Yeah, not even by Christmas. That was part of the things he said during the election period. So hopefully he's able to achieve that. You're going to say something, Titi?
Yes, I was going to say that anywhere there's a railway crossing, you need to be a little patient at those junctions as well. Ikeja along, for instance, Yaba bus stop area, the route that takes you to Tejosho, there's a lot of work going on there with the rail lines as well. So that is also causing a bit of traffic. So if you have an alternative route, please take it.
Okay, so now Yomi spoke earlier of Mile 12, and I just happened to stumble upon the traffic situation there in Mile 12, and boy, it is terrible. Like, it's blocked, like all the way from Ladipo, even just before Ladipo closed. In fact, it stretches from Owode-Lede. Yeah, that's where it starts. It starts at Owode-Lede, up all the way. It's light, just getting past Owode-Lede. I know that. Okay, you guys need to help me with that pronunciation now. I hope I didn't. You just say it to your own.
Just allow Mary to.
Just O-W-O-L-O-E-L-E-D-E.
So hold it back, yeah.
I was smacking.
What's doing you? So all of you, okay, so all of you that form you, but
I didn't want it to be obvious.
So when you guys modern names, I'm wondering, okay, so me, maybe I should be excused. Maybe, I'm not saying I should be excused, but are you guys, I'll catch you people, don't worry. I know some places. So, but then after that place they just said, you get past Ladipo, and Ladipo, it starts, getting quite heavy. You get past Ladipo, and then it's very, very, very tight there. So into Mile 12 Central Mosque or more, don't even try. That's heading this way. The other road returning is quite free, past Church of God Mission International, then up onto Diamond Bank, First Bank. It eases off by First Bank, and then just before Zenith Bank, from Zenith Bank upwards, it's quite very, very free, Yeah, quite very free there, up until it picks up a little bit at K2 Shopping Complex. Once you get to K2 Shopping Complex, just before, that bypassing to Ojota and all of that, Tipper Garage, it's quite, at Tipper Garage, there's a bit of a hold up there, but then it frees up, and then, of course, into industrial training, fund, Ikeja area office. Up on that point, it gets free, So yeah, that's it. So guys, I don't know, on social media, on Twitter, it's been quite a while. We've taken any tweets on traffic.
Yeah,
is there anything major?
It looks like all the major traffic Twitter handles are now advertising. Advertising platform.
I don't know
but I do. Let me just give me 1 second here. There are a few of them that usually try to.
Just still update us.
Still
somewhere
put
in between the ads,
somewhere in
if you
between.
check.
Okay,
Say, for example, okay, go ahead.
Traffic Butter here says 2 minutes ago, Ikeja under bridge to Maryland is free. Wow. And then this was 2 minutes ago, so that's at 6:35. And then Maryland to Yaba is also free. That means Ikorodu Road is not bad at all. And then Obanikoro bus stop needs urgent attention. So that means at the bus stop there, that's on the service lane is pretty bad. Quite some bad spots there. So yeah, if you drive there at night, you have to be very careful because it can be pretty bad. I don't know if you guys have any other updates.
I have one. It says mile 12 Koshofe Road needs serious attention. Going through terrible traffic, all in the name of repair. You know, are we going to go back to square one again? That's a tweet there with the hashtag giddy traffic there. And well, hey, that's what I have. That's all I can find.
What I actually had earlier was same as what Yomi pointed out. Yes, okay. So I think that's about it. Others on that platform, that's traffic, but are actually much earlier, and of course won't be of use to whoever is on the road right now.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. So those major roads we just mentioned, obviously we're seeing a confirmation there from road users from those areas as well. So yeah, so be careful along the roads as you go along, especially if you're a driver. Please
do. You really do have to be careful because especially if you're driving early in the morning when it's still dark and all of that. Something I just added to my mind when I'm driving. Look, don't underestimate any pothole. Yeah. Don't underestimate any. I'm serious, man. Don't underestimate any pothole.
You think it's small, and then you run into it, and then suddenly loud bang, and
don't underestimate any pothole because. So I've gone through there's a particular place you're going through it normally, and then it goes very, but one day you say, this pothole bad, so when you hear that one, your body just calm first. You're like as if they pour cold water on you. And then you start thinking about the mechanics and all of that. But hey, that's all we can take on Lagos traffic. Something we didn't mention, it's Halloween today, guys. I don't know, you got your costumes ready? You got any party, something, somewhere? I'll come over and join you guys right now.
Hello, what?
Okay, so I may have shared this with you guys before, but just in case, the most memorable Halloween for me was, 3-4 years ago? There was an incident between Wale Popopo on radio and I where we saw a snake.
Oh, no.
And he ran off without saving me.
Wait,
you know what I did?
Wale ran off.
Wale ran off without even
You've told us this story before.
Without thinking of me. And then you know what I did? I waited patiently till Halloween that year.
Oh, no.
And I got a rubber snake. And this rubber snake is so lifelike. You wouldn't believe it's rubber. And I rode this thing, called it next to him in the studio. And I waited. And then he was like, ladies and gentlemen, you are welcome to me. I said, oh, listen. Live on it.
You did somebody's heart to stop. You try that too. Don't try yourself.
Mary is a prankster. Everybody, they'll be looking at Mary like she's an angel. She's a prankster.
So what I wanted to talk about was the evolution of what Halloween actually is. So yesterday, it was Ciara and Russell Wilson who dressed as Jay-Z and Beyonce.
Oh, okay.
So, Halloween has really evolved.
Yeah,
and as almost every other thing has evolved. Now it's more about mimicking people you respect or admire than the original traditions of the day before All Saints and the Day of the Dead and all of that. Yeah. So I think I'm here for that one, for that part.
I think I prefer those
when
ones.
When people come out and I want to look like Obama and Michelle and Barack. I think it's cool because it sends positive messages. That's part of Halloween. I love that. I love that.
But all those evil something.
I love that.
But around this time,
Halloween without frightening people.
No. I don't think you should. I think we've come too far to start thinking about. You have time to be thinking of how to scare people. Well, there are too many things in the world scaring people every day. You're scared to go out of your house. You're scared to get in traffic.
Yes, that's it. That's it.
That's
it. Yeah. So and they they killed the look. So I loved it. I was like, oh, wow, now this is something. So I planned.
Well, the hobby looks a bit buff.
But it's a sports person and all that. So I love the look. And,
these costumes are really expensive, though.
They are. Somebody could also dress up like them. So I've seen people who, like celebrities who they swap looks. So I look like you and you look like me.
Very nice. I think it's
well, cool. I like that.
This year,
so who's going to dress
my
like
daughter's Halloween
dress like
costumes too. Cheerleading and Batwoman. Yeah. So I'm going to be taking her out for some treats because there's no treat.
One of my daughters wants to dress as Wonder Woman. The other one wants to dress as the Hulk. So I don't know.
And I can tell who wants to dress like the Hulk.
The Living in Bondage movie that's coming out. I think they're not calling it Halloween, but it's leaning.
Yes, now when you're saying devils and diamonds, you have mentioned them already.
It's leaning in that direction. So
so for me,
I need to find
down.
A dress for that.
Like you said, I also love the superhero thing.
Superheroes.
I love it.
Yeah.
I think superheroes are good examples to kids.
Well,
I think so. Yes, because you see, kids have to live in a fantasy world, whichever way.
But just be careful. Because there are a lot of kids who decide to jump off things all in the mindset.
It's normal.
So it's normal
for you to guide them.
Kids need that fantasy. They need that thing, that fantasy thing. And I mean, and superheroes are in such a way that the creators know that these people are people we look up to. I mean, look at an Endgame, look at Captain America, who was worthy enough to lift Mjolnir because he could give his life for something. So, that sacrifice. So people think of superheroes and think, okay, a hero is about somebody who can give or who can give of himself, who doesn't think of himself first. I think that's a good example.
And the beauty, go ahead.
I was going to say, my kids give me a hard time when it comes to superhero things because they keep saying, will Captain America beat Daddy? Can Daddy beat Captain America?
I love you guys.
So, and then they'll be arguing. They believe in Daddy so much. Daddy cannot be Captain America. You guys, it's not real.
But the truth is, I love the fact that your kids see you as a hero enough to be able to defend, against someone else, an adversary. And, they look up to us.
Yeah,
and
that's because I've gone to their school to make trouble before. But that's a story for another day.
Superheroes are everything. Everything.
Your daddy's not.
What are you dressing up as this weekend? Find someone. We're taking a break.
Yeah, well, it's not Wednesday, Woman Crush Wednesday, but there's someone very special that you want to meet in this package that we're about to show you. Take a look.
A people united can never be defeated. Do you believe that?
Meet Jo Odumaki, a woman who never does anything by half. Her personal take on life is anything worth doing is worth doing well. Or in more contemporary parlance, go hard or go home.
It takes passion, commitment, determination, and there are a lot of hurdles. If one is not determined, then one will drop by the wayside.
Born in Zaria, Kaduna in 1966, all she ever wanted was to serve in the seminary as a nun.
My parents were staunch Catholics. I so much love God. It was then that I picked up a phone. Mom saw me because my dad was in the UK. My dad then returned after about 2 or 3 months and then said, "Young girl, you still want to be a nun?" I said, "Yes, Dad." He said, "Not only will I disown you, but I'll print your obituary that you are dead. So when people see you, they think you are spirit, they start running." The next day, I just told my dad, I said, "Well, I want to face my education. I don't longer want to be a nun." And it was good news for him, so he took me to Kwara State Polytechnic.
But an uncompromising father and a chance happening upon a quote by Martin Luther King Jr. put paid to that and set her on another path in life.
At the university, a lecturer discovered that somebody scored very high marks in her tests. Measured my matriculation number, I went to see her. So she gave me one book to read. I read it. One quotation changed my life. And that is the one autobiography of Martin Luther King that says, our lives begin to end, the day we become silent about things that matter. And that was how that quotation wired me up. And I said, military dictatorship, I see injustice. So I felt that I could do a lot more if I'm engaged in the struggle.
As a women's rights activist and president of the Women Rise for Change initiative and the Campaign for Democracy, there's no room for selfishness in the life that she leads. But even she will tell you that nothing should make a woman compromise on the home front.
Marriage is not competition, but to complement each other. My mom has told me that if I fail in one, I can fail in all. When a child is growing, the parents are the first role model. Some of the failures we have seen, some parents are career women, they don't have time for their children, they leave them at the mercy of house helps. They don't even know when the group, I mean the people, they leave friends, they have some gangs. Parents don't even know their children. Seeing how my parents have made me who I am, I'll be a failure if I don't really positively affect my immediate environment. So balancing is very, very important.
For being a loud voice and a ray of hope for the helpless, she's had to pay her price. But the restoration of voice to the voiceless and every battle won has been more than enough consolation. And the world has been watching, even Michelle Obama when she was FLOTUS.
I set out doing all what I'm doing, not knowing anyone is taking special notes. But before I knew it, I started having awards on awards upon awards. As I speak today, I have 597 awards. And so 2013, I just got a mail. I should proceed the following day to the US Embassy with my passport. And I got there, congratulated me that I've won International Woman of Courage Award. But I don't need to tell anyone. When I get to Washington, D.C., I'll be told. So getting there on March 8th, I got in to where I was to receive the award. And the then U.S. Secretary of State, John Kerry, came in with the then First Lady of the United States of America, Michelle Obama. It was one of the high points of my life.
During the past 20 years in Nigeria, Dr. Josephine Odumakin has handled more than 2,000 cases of government security agencies violating women's rights. These cases include everything from negligence to assault and killings. For exceptional courage, strength, and leadership in tirelessly advocating for human rights, social justice, and women's equality and advancement.
An amazing woman there,
Yeah,
very amazing.
very, very, very. There's not enough time to talk about her right now, but you've seen quite a lot about her in the package. Tell us what you think on social media. Use our hashtag #WakeUpNigeria on TVC.
Yes, indeed.
Adedotun, also known as DT, is an Afro-pop singer and songwriter whose genre of music ranges in his variety as he crafts into hip-hop and sometimes ragga.
Yeah, he also dropped his first single, Sekowale, leading him to, of course, to sing for Black Wall Street Records. And he also featured Idris Abdikareem on the song Kilode. And he's going to be performing for us this morning. DT, ladies and gentlemen.
There will be nobody we go know if you no get the money. Then go they look you like say, oh mo you be dummy.
All right, it's 7:01. Things are about to get a whole lot steamier and we're going to make it hotter for your viewing pleasure.
Steamy.
Yes, steamy. It's not raining today, so it means the sun is likely going to come out and just warm everything up a bit.
You know, it's the 21st century, so there's another meaning for steamy.
Steamy, yeah. What? Yeah. Hot, fine, what?
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's what it means.
That's why we're on TV, because we're hot, we're fine, but we also, you know, communicate as well.
Yeah, well, a whole hour's gone by already.
Yeah. Okay.
We have about 2 more hours to go, and lots more lined up for you on the show today.
This is the second hour of Wake Up Nigeria, and we know you're awake by now. My name is Titilayo Oyinso.
And I'm Yomi Okwe. We're streaming live and steaming live.
I like that.
We're steaming live at TVC Entertainment. .tv and on Facebook at TVC Connect.
But this is a really great jacket, though. Really nice jacket.
Think so?
Yeah, it's a steamy jacket.
Yeah,
we can have your comments come in through social media about how good this jacket looks. Use our hashtag WakeUpNigeria.
Did I show you the back view of the jacket?
Yeah, please.
It has some nice cut.
Yeah, it's really nice. But you're not supposed to back the camera. That's like the first rule of TV.
There's a back view of it. Yeah. In fashion,
you can show us the back. Okay.
We have an app. It's available for you. It's a download.
iOS, Android.
Yeah, all of that. That's really good. And you can watch us from anywhere in the world.
Now, you know the show isn't complete without us activating our kitchen. Not to worry. The kitchen will be activated very, very soon.
Yeah.
Very, very soon. And we'll be cooking something sumptuous.
All right, so here's what we have for you for the rest of this morning. Art display. We have Michelle Okpari, a trilingual fluent in English, French, and Spanish. She is an expressionist exploring loads of vibrant colors in her artwork. Look at that. She's fantastic.
And then we have the author of the book, Unleash the Legend, Lord Heartlake, is going to be in the studio sharing a lot more about this very deep book.
And for a musical performance, we're going to be joined by Shegun Johnson and his band.
And finally, on the show, we'll be joined by Helen Ekpega, also known as the Venice Bushfires. Now, she's a singer, songwriter, composer, and performance artist that explores ethereal sounds.
I will gladly free these bones.
Nice. Yeah. So, guys, besides the fact that it's Halloween, it's also Caramel Apple Day and Magic Day.
Mary.
That's the favorite part for me, magic. Okay. As a child, I always wanted to make magic because I always wondered how they pulled it off. Like, how are these guys doing it?
Magician.
Yeah, a magician.
So there's this commentary, a documentary I'd seen about revealing some magicians' secrets and tricks and all that. And it's more like tricks than magic as it is. Exactly. And it takes a lot of practice.
There's this young boy that we had come to the studio some time ago. And he actually had some amazing card tricks. I think we should be able to find that video sometime soon. But it was just interesting to see that there's a craft to it. There are rules that you're just not supposed to break and all that. But people take years to perfect this stuff.
Yeah.
And they make quite a bit of money from it. It's not something that people are making money from here in Nigeria yet. So if that boy really tries,
people making money. So Pella's son is.
So if it's a party act,
he is a well-known.
So if it's a party act, and then I can go to parties, I can make people. The thing about being a magician is that you always have to be prepared. So someone sees you on the street and says, "Okay, pull out a hat from."
And then you always have to have like new tricks as well.
Yeah, always be prepared. All of that.
Yeah. So we did get online. It's trending that. Mobolaji Johnson is dead. Now, he was the first military governor of Lagos State, and it was confirmed that he passed on not too long ago.
Yeah.
He was appointed as military administrator by the then head of state. So it's interesting that it's trending. It's interesting that people are talking about it.
Yeah.
You know, there are a lot of people that were very significant in the history, especially in Lagos.
I think, I mean, there are a lot of people who are even watching now that would wonder, oh, he's still alive? Because, you know the street that's named after him is a popular street in Ikeja.
Yeah.
And yeah, so it's good, to have this sense of history among all of us as well. Really, really important.
And talking about all of that, we are also creating news, which will, of course, be history in future. I know for sure.
Welcome back. Now, Michelle Lokpa is a Nigerian who grew up in Ivory Coast, a trilingual, fluent in French, English, and Spanish. I like that. Now, she's a graduate of Fine and Applied Arts, where she majored in painting. She's an expressionist artist who loves to explore vibrant colors as seen in her works that you've seen on the screen. How do I say hello in Spanish, in Spain?
Hola.
Hola, okay, hola, hola, amigos.
Yes, hola, amigos.
Hola, amigos. I got it. Okay, good. It's great to have you, Michelle. You're welcome.
Thank you.
Okay, good. So, you grew up in Ivory Coast.
Yeah.
And how long were you there before you came back to Nigeria?
15 years.
15 years?
Yes.
Wow, now that's quite something. So there's quite a lot of Ivory Coast in you now. All right, but then you studied Fine and Applied Arts and majored in painting. What was the inspiration? How did you get to study it? Was it something you always wanted to do?
Yes, art has been part of me since I was little. Everybody in my family draws. So
okay. So it's something that your parents, they've encouraged you and all of that?
Yes, of course.
And then now, but taking it to the level of going to study art, now that's quite on another level. Why did you decide to study it?
I decided to study it because art has been part of me since I was little. I really love art.
You really love it?
I really
and that was your, if you didn't study art, what else would you have done?
Languages.
Language, okay. That's quite one. That's quite one. All right, so we have a few of your works here. Let's talk about this. Now, let's talk about your style. This is a style that I am not so conversant with. What style of artwork is this?
This is mixed media art.
Mixed media art.
Yes.
Okay. What does that entail? What does that mean?
Mixed media means you combining different materials,
Okay.
unconventional materials that are not actually used for normal paintings and producing a work of art.
Okay. So does this have a name? Let's talk about this work.
Yes. This is I named it Iyami.
Iyami. What does that mean? What language
it
is that?
means that's in the Shekiri language.
Okay.
It
All
means mother.
Mother. Okay, so I can see, but okay, as I see glasses here. What are the materials that you use, the individual materials? Let's talk about that.
Okay, this is crepe paper.
Okay.
Crepe paper is like a form of tissue paper.
Okay.
It's actually used for crafts.
Okay. All right, so did you call the paper, or the paper comes in different colors?
The paper comes in different colors.
Okay.
And also, it's just like a roll of tissue. It's just flat. So I formed it into this shape.
All right, wonderful. I love this. Okay, now this big one here that I can see, is this abstract?
Yes, it is.
Okay, it's some form of abstract, because I know that in art, now when I see something you can't really understand like that, it's abstract and all that. So, but let's talk about this. What's the title of this work here?
If Only.
If Only. If Only. All right, so talk to us about it. What does If Only, what is it about? Why If Only?
The inspiration behind this work is depression, women suffering with depression.
Okay. Why did you decide why depression?
Why depression? Yeah. When I was in school, my friends around me, they have a lot of depression issues.
Okay.
So there was one that even wanted to commit suicide. So I was like the one trying to counsel her and everything. So I took it upon myself to, like, let me create an art out of this.
What did that experience teach you? Considering that you had to talk to your peers, your mates, about not acting on depression and all that. What did that experience teach you?
It taught me how to care for people. You really don't know what is behind this everybody's smile. You really have to be close to people and know what they are really going through.
True, very true. Now, as an artist, as a painter, how far do you expect to take this? How far do you see yourself going? Next, say, 5 years, 10 years? What are your plans, your aims, your visions?
My plans going globally, of course.
Yes. Who are your inspirations? Who are your icons when it comes to art? Let's talk about that.
Oh, I have Lina Aris Victor. She's Liberian.
Okay.
Marcelina Akpojoto, she's a Nigerian artist.
She's a Nigerian artist.
Yes.
Okay, how about those ones, all the Van Goghs,
of course, there is.
You know, those ones, the Renaissance artists, the Michelangelos and all those big ones?
Of course, Michelangelo, Pablo Picasso and Voca.
All right, thank you very much. It was great having you.
Thank you so
Here's
much.
wishing you the best with your global plans. All right, thank you, Michelle. All right, so that's it. We had Michelle, and of course, we had to look at our wonderful, wonderful artworks. We have to head over now to Titi. Our book chat is coming right up. Hello, Titi.
Thank you, Mike. Now we have a prolific writer and speaker, as well as poet in the building. He's a prodigy in human life and behavioral pattern analysis, and he has this book, Unleash the Legend. It's a classic precipitated to unleash the genie in everyone. Now, it depends on your experiences and your background, of course, but he's given an interesting breakdown of what needs to be done to unleash your legend. Welcome to the studio, Lord Hartlake.
Thank you so much.
All right, so I know people must have asked you so many times about the name, Lord Hartlake. I checked out the back of the book and it says your name is Tobias Unguta Hartlake. All right, so where's that from? Where's the name from?
Ebonyi State.
Ebonyi State. All right, it's a beautiful name.
Thank you
thank you so much for coming to talk to us. Now, I'm reading from the back of the book here. And it says, the cornerstone of your beliefs hinge on the idea of life and its offshoots, which are origin, purpose, progress, and Mosia. Okay, so can we break that down a little?
Okay. Mosia is synonymous with what you call climax.
Okay.
The Hindu call it nirvana.
Okay.
So simply put, the highest state of your development. That's what Mosia is.
Okay.
So the book was actually waiting for every man to be able to find a path to the highest point of their development.
Okay.
So they could find joy and all that.
All right, so it's interesting you talked about that just now. I was going to ask you immediately, who is this book for? And why did you decide to put it together?
Okay, simply put, you know, when you walk on the street of, let's say, Lagos, you get to see a lot of people coming from the beggars, the quote-unquote agbeus, the guy who wakes about 4 a.m., goes back home about 12 a.m. and all that. You know, somehow, somewhere they are lost in the moment. This book was actually waiting for every one of them. You know, if you look at the likes of Bill Gates, Tony Robbins and all that, they are up there. But somehow, somewhere, there's been a disconnect for them for the average guys on the street to get to that top. It's like they don't know what's going on. So this book was waiting for every one of them.
There's a page here, page 102 has it's a little passage titled My Frame, My Name, My
That's actually
Shame,
a chapter.
And Fame.
My Fame.
My frame, name, shame, and fame. I found that very deep, and it says here the following could be your frames today. It says here, poverty, deformity, defeat, shame, rejection, sickness, hunger, isolation, recession, addiction, crime, comfort, depression, slavery, captivity, war, and anarchy. Whichever you find yourself, I want you to know that they're frames of what
you will be.
Yeah. But if you can frame them right, then what happens?
You can get up there.
Okay.
For instance, if you look at the backstory of so many great men today, some of them were slaves, some were in captives, some were prisoners, some were in sheer poverty. If you look at the story of Tyler Perry, he's a famous man now. You know, I took my time to try get to know this man, the man behind the man. And I heard so many things. When he was abused sexually by his father, he saw some things that people of his age should never see. But today, he's a strong man. I'm one of those who believe that whatsoever you're going through right now was meant for you to see, so you could be able to help someone else in the later future. Because somehow, some way, the likes of Taraji are actually molded by Tyler Perry because of what he's seen in the past. And I believe whatever you're seeing right now, you should be able to use it and mold someone else so someone else will not go through the same ordeal.
That you went through.
Yeah.
Now, if moving towards page 183 now, it says the law of addition. Now, I tried to break this down in my head. It talks about the power of destination, right?
Yeah.
You use quite a lot of big words here, but the law of addition states that for anyone to push forward to a progressive front, he or she, whatever gender you fall under, must take the right element that will be added and attracted. So I'm not sure what you meant by that.
Okay. It says he or she, or whatever gender you fall, must take a stand.
Okay.
And then the right element will be added and attracted to you. For instance, a man who wants to be a war hero, you know what that means? First, you must go through some training, some hard, hope-breaking training. You must have seen wars. You must have seen wars to the point that you would almost say to yourself, this is the end of it. You would have given up at some point. Why did you see all those things? Because you wanted to be a general. So the destination you're pushing in life will predetermine whatever you're going to see.
All right, then.
Yeah, that's just a simple logic.
Breakdown. Now, there's still so much more in this book that it's so deep. It's something you have to read from cover to cover to fully understand. But it's amazing that you could come to the studio. Once again, Lord Heartlake here with Unleash the Legend.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for being here. We have to take a quick break. Wake Up Nigeria is back after this.
Live band, aka Owambe music, has grown more in popularity and is here to stay. We have musician Segun Johnson, who has been doing music for quite a while and is here to talk about his art and his music and all that he does. Of course, you've seen him on the show performing on Thursdays as a live band. Today is the first time we're going to have to sit down. He'll still perform, but today we're going to sit down and get to know the man behind the music and the band. It's great to have you, Segun Johnson. You're welcome.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, wonderful suit, by the way. Wonderful blazer, I must say. I told him that if he goes out and he sees that he's wearing only white and black, he should just know that. But it's great to have you. You're welcome.
Same here, same here.
Okay, so you are into the music business, and I was speaking to you earlier. You spoke about the reason why you do this. It's about making people happy. Let's talk about that. Why did you feel the need to go into live band music and all of that?
Yeah, while I was very young, in our local church, we had the opportunity of having access to musical instruments. So when I grew up 18, 17, when the urge and the passion came to make people happy, music was the only tool that was available.
To you?
Yeah, if I was actually funny, back then, I would have been a comedian.
Lisa, but did you ever try comedy or something? Did you ever try it?
I think I did an MC. I did the MC job once. I won't tell you how the party went.
We know how it is now. When there's stone you pure water, you will change direction. It kind of, but I get it. But music was that thing. Yeah. So you grew up playing music in church and all of that. But let's talk about the switch to professional. That means when you started looking at it as a career. How did that switch happen?
Yeah, I think that was when I was in ND2 in the Polytechnic, when I saw 1 million in my account.
Yeah? You just saw 1 million like that?
I was more scared than you are right now. Like back
you
then,
saw 1 million?
like someone paid me. I had been saving. Then the payment of that person made the accounts to be 1 million.
1 million?
I think I was going to the class that day and I said, oh, more. This in our business.
I like that. Yes, I thought 1 million just came like that, but I get what you're saying now. And so that was when you decided, okay, let's pick this up and all of that. After that, what were you studying then in school?
Mass communication.
You're studying mass communication, so that means that it had to be media or entertainment and all of that. So in the 6 years so far that you've been doing professional music as a live band, let's talk about the highs and the lows. Let's start with the lows first. What are the challenges that you get to face?
Well, the first challenge that I got to face when I started was ability for people to have confidence in you when it comes to corporate events. We have lots of live bands that can function for a regular Owambe party.
Owambe, yeah, definitely.
But of course, if Wake Up Nigeria, TVC are going to have an end-of-the-year party, you want to be very, very selective with whoever is on the microphone. The choice of songs, not to be vulgar, their look. So it took time before we could convince people that, oh, this is a brand that can function
as a corporate brand as well as a party brand and all of that. Okay, then let's talk about the highs, the big points, those points that when you're done, I know the money is definitely one big high, you know, but let's talk about the highs.
I remember when I received my first call from, you know, what we usually call a big man. No, there are some men that are big, not because they are fat.
They are fat, but some other parts is big. I get you.
Someone in the presidential level.
Wow.
He called me with a number that it was obvious that this number is definitely not a regular number. And I couldn't call the number after that. You couldn't call the number back?
What kind of, how do you know about here?
But the high point was that I felt so valued.
Wow.
That, so someone can actually call me. So at that point, I knew that, this is worth it.
What are the lessons that upcoming people in whatever art they're doing, what can they learn from you? Well, what are those lessons you've learned to get to this point that you are now?
Well, the first lesson was humility. The second one was you have to be very, very informed about what you do. It's not about just saying you're a carpenter. What is the job of carpentry all about? All over the world, what is the standard for professionalism when it comes to doing the work of a carpenter? So the first lesson I really would like people to learn is you must develop your skill to the international standard. Wow. It's not just about doing your job for the local people in your area. You can be paid for it, but at the long run, you might lose out when you get to the international standard.
Wow.
So yeah.
I like that. So you have to think globally. You have to ensure that your art is something that can stand the test of time in whichever way.
Yes.
You know, wow. That's wonderful. So you've been doing this for 6 years. How much longer do you expect to do this? And how far do you expect to take this?
I tell people, fortunately for musicians, we have the advantage of time and season. Even if I'm 90 years old, the only thing is I won't be able to stand and run up and down. But even when I'm sitting there, I would just say, Mike, the handsome man. And you spray me on
I like that. So it's a career that can take you quite a very long while and all of that.
Yeah.
It's not something, maybe like a footballer's career that's quite short and all of that. You know, it's something that can take you quite a long while.
Yeah.
But then, doing this so far, if you were not doing music, I know you mentioned you studied mass communication, so you mentioned broadcasting, but if it was not music and entertainment based, what other area could Shegun Johnson fit in?
Probably I would be a man of God. I'm not trying to say I'm a spiritual person.
No. There's nothing wrong with being a spiritual person. There's nothing wrong with being
but you know, growing up in the church, you know, we were exposed to, apart from being in the choir, of course, automatically, whether we liked it or not, we had to listen to the sermon. As the instrumentalist, you have to be on the altar and hear the pastor. So I feel probably the influence would have come for the job of probably a pastor or anything religious.
Okay, good, wonderful. But there's something that's quite important and all of that. It's about, a lot of people have met people who have asked about charging for whatever they do, and they think about, okay, how do I charge people? How do I, maybe, you made mention now of somebody who was highly placed calling you. Yeah. Did you give the person the same normal charge, or do you have a fixed flat rate? How does this make you money? How do you charge? Okay. And then there are times when maybe you might have to do things that are maybe free, in quote. How do you negotiate all of this?
Now, the first thing that is quite important in every business is whether you like it or not, an impression must be created from every conversation.
Okay.
So an impression must be created. So once you're called for an event, or you must first understand the market. What is the price of other people in this industry? So let's not deceive ourselves by trying to package unnecessarily.
Okay.
Understand for what is the price that other people in this industry, what's the price they offer. Good. Then you now merge your ability and the standard of your delivery to, okay, those having this standard of delivery, what do they offer? Like what amount do they charge? With that, you can put yourself on check. So you can say, okay, you charge 3 million because you know a fellow band like yours with the same standard charges the same amount. Then the other part of the business aspect is your ability to identify events where you don't talk about money. To be honest with you, when that man called me, I realized that that is an opportunity for me to break into another circle.
And you did break into it.
And I did.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
So I hope that's the level of, you performed there, right? At that event.
Yes.
So are we getting that kind of level of performance this morning? What is Segun Johnson bringing to the table this morning? What are you feeling?
Now, Wake Up Nigeria is so dynamic and phenomenal that it has lots of, like...
guys watching us now.
Like,
Okay.
So, unlike what we've done here before, the regular one, they want to make sure we take it to what a regular person would call touche level. Country-way touche.
Okay, good. I like that.
So people usually definitely have lovely days when they watch Wake Up Nigeria. So we start with Bill Withers' lovely day this morning.
Wonderful. He's going to give us some touche music this morning. Thank you very, very much, Segun Johnson. It was a pleasure talking to you. We'll take this break now. Don't go anywhere. We'll get into the third lap of the show.
Hello and good morning. And the words of Joey, how you doing? Tell us what you would love us to be doing with you right now. Honestly, we're having a great time, I have to say.
Yeah.
Hopefully you didn't miss the last 2 hours of the show.
Yeah, but if you did, you can still catch up with us. The next 45 minutes, we're going to be here with you. It's going to be nice.
45 more minutes to bring you some of the things you absolutely love. My name is Titilayo Oyinson.
And I'm Yomi Okwe. You can watch us live right now at tvcentertainment.tv and on Facebook at TVC Connect.
We appreciate all the comments coming in so far. Please keep them coming. Use our hashtag #WakeUpNigeria on TVC.
Yeah, the TVC app is also available, of course, that you can download it on both the Android and iOS stores. Now, this app allows you to watch us from anywhere in the world. And it's got a nice thumbnail with TT's photograph on it.
Yeah.
So that's an added, that's what's called
bonus.
value added.
Yeah. We've been wishing everyone happy birthday on their special days. We did the shout outs earlier on. For those of you who want to send in a shout out, just use our hashtag #WakeUpNigeria on TVC.
Yeah, we had a chat with Segun Johnson earlier on and about how he's making lots of money. Lots of money from music. I didn't know that, so...
Big boy.
Yeah.
He has a live band, and
yeah.
he's going to be giving us a performance a bit later on. And finally, we'll have on the show Helen Epega. Now, she's also known as the Venus Bushfire. Singer, songwriter, composer, performance artist.
Of course, she does something with these ethereal sounds. Very nice.
In the spirit of Halloween. Yes.
So,
look at that costume.
something I watched yesterday, I think got me really smiling. Kevin Hart. He's back. You know, he suffered a very serious accident and all of that. So he posted a video about his recovery process and all of that. He's almost 100 and all of that. He made quite some things remarkable. He said some things quite remarkable. He said that it seems like God is telling him to just take it easy,
Slow down.
Sit
Slow
down,
down
to
a
chill.
bit,
Said he was on this, hyper. Hey, you have to do this. You have to achieve this. You have to do this. You have to get this. But now, man,
Bobo don't chill.
He has to chill and all of that. And I'm happy that, look, man, it wasn't, that he's okay now.
Yeah.
Very, very,
so
very
he
happy.
had these regular posts, very motivating posts, telling people to keep going. He would work out, he'd take videos and pictures on set of him working, never really lounging and chilling. It was always about work. The next project all the time. But once that accident happened, it was just like boom, a new Kevin Hart just was unveiled.
Sometimes life happens, and when it happens, it remodels us and helps reshape our thinking.
Yeah.
And talking about projects, I don't know if you saw that photo of the 4 legends Wesley Snipes, Will Smith, Martin Lawrence. Who's the fourth person?
Will Smith, Wesley Snipes, and I think it was Eddie Murphy.
Yeah, so all four of them, they're working on 2 different projects with Tyler Perry Studios, and so they just took the photo together. They're working on Coming to America too.
Yeah.
And The Bad Boy for Life.
All 4 of them are in both films.
Two
different films.
Two different films.
Oh, right.
But it was really cool. They were all 4 of them were on sets, but different sets in the same studio. It was really nice to see.
We have to take...
Staying tuned to Wake Up Nigeria, and it's about time for us to discuss something very interesting. Now, with me is Benga Ayodada. He is the creative director of Benga Artsmith, a contemporary accessory brand, a tastemaker in jewelry artistry and trends. Today, he is here to talk about something that has affected millions of lives. It is the very last day of Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and he's here to share more about life on the pink lane.
Good morning.
Good morning. Great to have you here.
Good to be here too.
Fantastic. So we talk about breast cancer. Most times we see a lot of females on it. Why did you decide to jump on that?
Okay, well, because as a contemporary jewelry brand and 85% of our audience, they're women, and breast cancer is something that affects women mostly, even though some men have been diagnosed with breast cancer. Yes. So it just makes sense as a socially conscious brand to do something that is going to benefit the women folk.
Okay, so your jewelry pieces are very unique, very cool. Like I must say, you've gotten great reviews over time for them. How do you work on them? How do you put them together? What inspires how you create them?
Well, I'm inspired by basically everything, cultures, daily conversations, experiences, so I'm very open-minded. Okay. So I embrace everything, almost everything that comes my way, because you never know when the inspiration is going to strike. Right. So I'm very, very, very attentive.
Which is good stuff. Yeah. So back to breast cancer, how do you manage to work with it? You're working on something that has to do with the pink lane.
Life on the pink lane, yeah.
Yeah, so how does this work?
All right, the first one was last year. We worked with the stage 4 breast cancer survivors, so we decided to make it bigger. Yeah, so we decided to make it bigger this year. I just thought, okay, what can we do in a different way? And so the purpose of this campaign is just to encourage women to be informed about about breast cancer, and then to take actions to be more conscious about their breast health. And then if they notice symptoms or signs, they should go to the hospital for checkups. So we've had several reviews. We've had people reach out to me saying, oh, I just went for my lumpectomy, and thankfully the lump wasn't malignant. I just checked myself, breast screening. So we partnered with quite a number of medical centers and to get 50% rebate. So when you go to these centers, you mention Life on the Pink Lane as the access code, and you get 50% discount on breast screening and then mammogram. So this year is a lot better. We're still doing a lot of things, and then we're still going to have a jewelry auction and art exhibition at our culture later in November. And people ask us, oh, breast cancer awareness month is October. Why in November? It's just a message that breast cancer is every month. Yes, it shouldn't be restricted to a particular month. Yes. So we hope to continue to do this. Okay, so in November you intend to have an art auction? Yeah, a jewelry auction. A jewelry auction. Yeah, to raise funds that will go towards the treatment of indigent breast cancer patients who can't afford this, because my jewelry brand partnered with a cancer foundation, Cancer Aware Nigeria. Okay. So that's what this is all about. They work with breast cancer patients every day. So this is just an effort to raise funds for them. So for people who have been looking to have certain unique pieces of your jewelry, this is an opportunity to actually get it. Exactly. So how would the auction work? You pick a jewelry and then people start putting prices like the way auctions are? The jewelry exhibition, we're going to have different pieces on display. So for every sale, 20% proceeds goes to Cancer Aware Nigeria. And then for the jewelry auction, we have breast cancer survivors and breast cancer advocates walk the runway, and we auction the pieces. So the proceeds goes to cancer aware because it's a big issue.
Now, most people, when you hear someone advocating for cancer and stuff, there's always that belief that there's a personal experience involved.
Yeah.
Has it been the case for you as well?
Oh yes, it's born out of a personal experience. Just like last year, we had the cerebral palsy awareness campaign because I have a brother who lives with cerebral palsy. So for breast cancer, I've had family friends, close family friends. One of them was, she's a pioneer in the event decoration industry in Nigeria. We lost her, that was 1999. Yeah, 1999. That was the dream cut short. And then this year again, we lost one of, the biggest voices in law. She has done a lot for herself in her career as a lawyer. We lost her, unfortunately, this year. She's also a good family friend. So it's unfortunate that we continue to lose women like this with promising career who would do a lot for the society if we don't do something about it, because breast cancer is the highest cancer killer in Nigeria, accounting for 40 deaths every day. So we have to do something about it.
Which is very commendable, really, which is very commendable. So with your personal experience having to lose certain people, it means that these cases pour you on. Yeah. Because there's always that thought of, oh, if I can't get funding to keep this up. Have you ever got into that particular place that you just feel like, do I really feel I can continue this?
Oh, definitely. I mean, that was me some days ago because, Nigerians find it very easy to be sympathetic. Yeah, wow. Nigerians find it very easy to be sympathetic, but very difficult for them to be empathetic. I mean, during the course of this campaign, we've had people say things like, "Oh, I'm not going to buy the jewelry. I don't want cancer jewelry." I'm like, "What do you mean by cancer jewelry?" Religion is a major problem in Nigeria. It just feels like, "Oh, if I'm going to buy this jewelry, I'm associating with cancer."
Do
you understand? And we've had several cases. I mean, 20% proceeds. There was a lady who was asking for a discount and said, "Oh, I really want a discount." And then we gave her the discount, but she wanted further discount. I said, "Are you aware that 20% proceeds goes to a cancer foundation?" She doesn't care. That she rather have that 20% as a further discount. So it's a problem.
That's a female.
Yeah, that's a woman. So we need to continue to educate people on the importance of, why they need to care for the next woman, because it might be you tomorrow, it might eat home tomorrow, it might be your sister, it might be your mother, it might be anybody close to you. So we need to do something about it.
Fantastic. I'm super impressed about this. Anything that alleviates people's suffering is always a big deal for me. Thank you so much for the work you do,
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. All right, so that's about it. Talking about life on the pink lane.
Yeah.
And of course, I've been having a conversation with Benga Ayodada. Good to see you again.
Good to see you again.
Okay, I did say again. All right, we're going to head over to The Guardian now for a music performance from Shegun Johnson and his band. Wow, really
that was nice.
To see you.
Ladies and gentlemen, a wonderful morning to you. I'd like to say you're gonna have a lovely day. When I wake up in the morning, love, and the sun should hit my eyes, something without warning, love, is heavy on my mind. Then I look at you, and the world's alright with me. Just one look at you, and I'm sure it's gonna be. And Wake Up Nigeria would like to tell you, it's a lovely, lovely day, a lovely day, a lovely day, and it's a lovely day, a lovely day, a lovely day. We wish you a lovely day, 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 lovely day, lovely day. Listen, when the day that lies ahead of me seem impossible, it feels, there's someone else instead of me. Always seems to know the way. Come on up. Then I look at you. Come on up, yeah. And the world's alright with me, yeah. We can tell you that just one look at you, and we know it's gonna be here on Wake Up Nigeria. We'd like to tell you, it's a lovely, lovely day. Come on, lovely day, a lovely day, a lovely day, and a lovely day, a lovely day. You know, Titi is saying it's gonna be a lovely day, lovely day, a lovely day, a lovely day, lovely day, lovely day. Listen, a lovely day, a lovely day, a lovely day, and it's gonna be a lovely day. Oh, it's gonna be a lovely day. If you're ready to dance now, come on. If you're ready to dance now, if you're ready to dance now, are you ready now, ladies and gents? Now, come on. Move your body like this. Oh, yeah, now. Move your body like this. Oh, shit, now. Move your body like this. Move your body like this. Oh, yeah, now. Move your body like this. Oh, yeah, now. Move your body like this. Okay, now. Move your body like this. Let's go dancing, ooh la la la. Reggae dancing, ooh la la la. Let's go dancing, ooh la la la, la 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 la. Reggae dancing, ooh la la la, la 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 la. See, I wanna get to know you. You can see Titi, you can see Mary. And I've got Mike, I've got Yomi. We're on Wake Up Nigeria, and we'll be singing ooh la la la. Move your body like this, let's go dancing ooh la la la. Move your body like this, reggae dancing ooh la 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 down, ta da tap tap, la 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 down, ta da tap tap, ta da da down. Listen, we dance in the park, and everything was dark, oh yeah. All of a sudden, now on came the lights, the lights, the lights, the lights, and everything was fine, was fine. Listen, the people started dancing. They called me over to joining, to joining. Nine. Come on and join Wake Up Nigeria. I wanna tell you, ooh la la la, oh yeah now, oh yeah now. Let's go dancing, ooh la la la. Okay, reggae dancing, ooh la la la. Let's go dancing, ooh la la la, la 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 la. See, I've got Titi. And I've got Yomi dancing now, now, now. And I've got Mike Baba. And I've got Pretty Mary dancing inside. Everybody, you be singing, ooh la la la. Oh yeah now, come on now. Let's go dancing, ooh la la la. Move your body like this, push it up. Reggae, oh yeah, this way. Oh yeah, move your body like this, yeah. Move your body like this, oh shit. Move your body like this, move your body like this. Okay now, come on. To the left and right, to the left and right, to the left and right. I will be singing, ooh la la la. Let's go dancing, ooh la la la.
Welcome back. Now, finally on the show, we're joined by Helen Ekpega. Now, she's also known as the Venice Bushfires. She's a singer, songwriter, composer, performance artist, and she explores ethereal sounds. This song queen has a pigeon opera, the world's first ever production of its kind, and is composed, of course, by her. The opera is a rich blend of African tradition, storytelling using pidgin English, and of course, Western classical opera style. So it's like an Afro-futuristic presentation. And Helen with her hang there right here in the studio. Welcome.
Thank you very much for having me.
All right, so we've been looking forward to this all day.
Me too.
And the most prominent thing in this whole shot is this instrument. So this is called a hang.
It's called a hang,
Okay.
pronounced hung, and it's from Switzerland. A Swiss couple make it, and they were inspired by a lot of African fables, African drums, and of course the Trinidadian steel pan.
Okay, yeah, the steel pan I know about, but they still use sticks to play that.
Yeah, this one, the lighter you touch it with your fingers, the better the sound. The harder you touch it, the more mute the sound.
Okay, can you give us a sample?
Okay, we'll do something together. So I just need you to hit this ding on top here. Yeah.
Okay.
Whoa,
well
done.
That felt interesting.
Yeah, it feels amazing because you feel the vibration and everything with the instrument. So.
And the sound is really different. It's not the sound you hear every day.
Especially not in Nigeria.
Of course.
And that's why I love it so much, because it's African, but it's showing a different sensibility to what being African is. It's not necessarily the loud, it's the meditative, it's the spiritual, it's celebrating us. Maybe quietly, you know.
Okay, so you have a really interesting style. Even from the video, the clip we saw earlier on, you know, your hair, your outfits. Let's talk a bit about that.
Yeah.
Did it just feel like the style fit with the instrument, or did the instrument come after?
Actually, it all kind of came from nature. I started coming back to Nigeria a lot more frequently in 2008. And I was with my grandmother in Benin City, Edo State, and they'd burnt sort of like the land to build, but the grass and the trees, everything grew much quicker. So that made me realize that sometimes God clears something for something to grow. So I thought bushfires, and I love the stars, the Venus bushfires, and I love the idea of it being Mother Nature, so the tree. So I always wanted myself to kind of emulate the spirit or the feeling of a tree, birth of possibilities.
Which is where the hair comes from.
Exactly, so it's bamboo in my hair as well.
Okay, but this is not uncomfortable, right?
No, it's great. It's light as a feather.
Okay, all right, so you have this amazing instrument here. We talked a bit about the pigeon opera earlier. I talked about it earlier. Why a pigeon opera?
Because to be honest, in Nigeria, we have so many different languages, 350 apparently, and pidgin is something that unites us. So I wanted to really celebrate things that unite us and to inspire people and to bring what is lower art with high art. I want who decides this. I just wanted us to celebrate together in a language that we all can speak, whatever tribe you're from.
Okay, so now this is a very unique type of music, and you know, one might think, you know, not everybody would embrace it, but you've been having some interesting performances. Tell us a bit about some places you've been?
So recently I performed at an educational event, and so it was a bank that supported an educational event, and I performed to a conference full of children and their grandparents and their parents and their teachers, and the response was wonderful. People are looking for something that really just celebrates us to the world in a really positive way, and I'm so grateful to be part of that. And so I wanted to do the pigeon opera to celebrate African culture in a really inspiring, engaging, holistic way.
So there was something I saw, I think on your page, something about sickle cell awareness. I'm not sure.
Yes, actually.
How did that happen?
So my husband actually is the spokesperson for the Richard Coker Foundation, which raises awareness about the sickle cell disease, and as well as provide support for children with the disease and their families. So we're performing the opera at the Muson Centre next week on the 8th of November, and it's in aid of the Richard Coker Foundation.
Okay, so I need to hear this instrument again.
There's a ding.
Okay, there?
Yeah. Wonderful.
Okay, so it just feels like something magical is happening, but I need to leave you to get to it. So is there like a do, re, mi? Can you show me a do, re, mi?
It's also, I'll show you from the lowest sound to the highest sound.
Okay.
So
it's not do, re, mi at all?
It's it's pentatonic scale, D minor.
D minor. Okay.
Yeah, so it's more melancholic.
Okay, show us that again.
So.
Can you?
I don't want to get too technical.
Yeah, so no, please go as technical as possible. We have to learn a little bit more about this.
So basically, the way I play, I taught myself music. So sometimes what people might call certain scales, I have my own. So for example, if I'm performing with the orchestra, I might say do bang ching ting ting bing bong bong.
Wow.
They will understand what I mean. To other people, it's like, what's she talking about? But within that kind of, within the space that we have, they understand that. So basically, I'll do a rendition of a song called Last Winter Sparrow, which is about the human desire to be greater in legend than we are in life. So,
hold on. Okay. I want to ask, which other instruments go well with this instrument? So would you prefer, does a violin work?
Beautifully. I play with a violin, djembe, Dun dun drum, talking drum.
Okay.
DJ.
Oh.
You have to really mic it up.
Okay.
Those clubs can drown out the sound.
Yeah.
DJ, body percussion.
What? So I'm trying to think of how you blend into an opera or into an orchestra, rather.
Well, for me, I think this actually sounds like a harp, but it's a drum. Okay. And thus, for example, the way you play the harp, you play with a lot of feeling, you know, and you're quite sensitive with it. So if I hit it very hard, for example, as you would a drum, sound is awful. But if I hit it with the sensibility and the meditation that I'm intending, then it's more like water.
So the lighter you touch it,
absolutely,
the better the sound.
The better the sound, the lighter the touch. And also you have to get into the spirit of the performance.
Okay, so could I see it on the other side, do you think? Okay, so this is now looking like a spaceship.
Yes, it is. My little UFO friend.
Yeah, so I can see there's a hole here.
Exactly. So it's hollow inside.
Yeah.
So I don't know if your camera can see it.
It kind of reminds me of those pots that they used to fry.
Exactly. Or barbecue or turtle shell. So this part you can actually play like a drum. So for example, it'll be...
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Okay, let's turn her back. Oh, she has a name, right? Does she have
a name? It used to be Penelope.
Okay. Not the name I was thinking I would hear.
A friend of mine just said, oh, you should call her Penelope because this was my baby before I had children. Okay. And then I realized, okay, this is not my baby. Babies are babies. You know,
okay,
exactly.
All right. So I think it's about time you gave Penelope a good performance right here on Wake Up Nigeria. Please go ahead.
Okay. Husband, Baba Epega, who's my rock and helps me to get up in the morning.
So he woke you up this morning. That's what you're trying to say.
He woke me up and he wakes me up every morning, and I'm just so grateful.
So I need the other presenters to come and give this a whack. I'm going to say
a
whack.
Soft touch?
Yes, a soft touch.
Not a whack.
Okay, so you're whacking it.
I'm whacking, but I tell you what the feeling is like. The feeling's like this.
It's like that.
It's as light as that. But just do that here. You see? But even softer.
Okay.
The feeling is like that.
Yeah.
Perfect. Do you see the sound is different?
Yeah.
So try again.
Yeah, try it.
Oh! Don't stop, keep going. So we'll do something together.
It's not working.
No, but of course, it takes a lot of practice. Did you see I use all our fingers?
Okay, lovely.
So
very nice.
Incredible.
Can I just give a shout out? So if you want to check me out, it's at thevenusbushfires.com and Instagram at thevenusbushfires.
Honestly, people are already checking you out.
For the fidget
I need to learn how to play this.
I love you. This
really?
Is it Japanese inspired?
It is Japanese inspired by the bonsai tree specifically.
Oh wow!
So, yeah, so
nice.
Good shout.
Really nice.
All right. So
where can I get one of those?
You need to go to Benin and you need to see see the bush being burnt, and you need to have whole experience.
Make it here. We can make it.
Well, you get this bamboo. I tried the bamboo here. It's heavy. It will break your neck. So be careful.
All right. So I feel like you should use the hang to sign us off the show today.
Yeah. Okay,
just play it behind us while we sign out. Please, just keep playing. And on this very melodious note,
very melodious.
We're wrapping up the show today. Wake Up Nigeria.
Things are a little bit different today, a bit ethereal. Just meditate as we go.
A big...
Like it takes you somewhere.
Yeah.
Like the music takes you somewhere. Like I feel like
I feel like I should play the Chinese gong, like the as we round off the show.
Amazing.
Thank you so much. Thank you to our friends at Homeland G for all our kitchen accessories. And of course, we'll be back here again early tomorrow morning for the Friday edition of Wake Up Nigeria.
Stay with us.
Yes.
Your view is next.
This is amazing. Well done.
Bye.